We're doing this. All right. So what up, everyone? We are Inside Real Estate. This is the first live show we've ever done. I'm holding a mic. Brad's looking at me funny.
You're holding it. It's strange.
It's very strange. I don't have any other. I feel like I'm holding something, whatever. So, we are here at the Detroit Shipping Company. We're doing a live event with real producers of Wayne County. They basically, I think we had them last week. Basically, they go out to all 500 top real estate agents in Wayne County. 300? 300, whatever it is. I don't fucking know. So we're very fortunate to be here. I mean, there's a lot of great agents around here, so we're going to talk about, whatever comes up because this is a very odd situation for us. We're not used to this.
Definitely out of our element.
Very out of our element. So,
that door is
but
cold.
I am happy. We've got John Hartzell right now. He is the owner and probably like founder of all this shit that we're in right now.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. So you've done an amazing job. So basically you went in an area of Detroit that really wasn't populated at the time. You built something that was different, right, for most places. Basically what you did, and I want you to talk about it, but these are all shipping containers that you put together like Legos to create a really cool space. Right? I mean, is that basically, do I have that right?
Yeah, we chose shipping containers as a substrate to build our superstructure, and then we decided that we didn't want to lie about what we're building, and so we kept the container as a design point as well.
Yeah, you were like this is what it is, right?
Where do you go about getting shipping containers?
Perfect. So
that's a great question.
Our trade deficit, we don't ship anything out. So when China makes something and ships it here, we just leave those containers, and it's cheaper to build a new container in China and ship more goods here.
Instead of shipping it back, right?
Really?
That's correct, yeah.
So there's a surplus of containers in our country.
Correct, yeah.
Wow.
So at some point,
that speaks volumes to our market, though. You're right.
That's right. People will find efficiencies in the container build at some point. It's not quite there yet, but there is a surplus. So you go down to Clark Street off 75, and you can procure yourself for $1,800 a 40-foot shipping container.
That's how much it costs a piece.
So you just walk up to the port and you just be like, hey, I want to buy some of these.
Yeah, that's how it works. So you just start flagging people down.
This is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
It's not quite the port, but it's inland a little bit. But yeah, essentially you go there. It's kind of funny in Detroit.
Because containers they don't just get shipped. They get moved all across, right?
That's right. The sales staff for the Detroit location's in Cleveland. But then so you have to call Cleveland, and she calls back, and then some guy drives you around, and they have a giant Lego moving container machine. It's kind of fun to watch, and he'll move containers so you can see all four sides, decide if you want that one or not.
Like they're showing you the container prior to buying it.
That's right.
That's really interesting.
There's a once run container. Sometimes they'll travel a handful of times until you get a multiple run, or you can buy a brand new.
No way.
Price points change. For us here, we used a lot of multiple use runs. Again, we don't want to lie about what the substrate was.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So how many containers are in this facility right now?
So in the actual facility connected, it's 21 containers. Out back, we've added 2 storage containers, so we end up with 23.
Wow.
The container build itself from shovel to completion was only 10 months, and that was through a winter, so you actually do expedite construction time with containers because you can do a lot of the infrastructure off-site. So while you're doing site work on-site, you're doing your actual hard framing and your core cuts and whatnot off-site. And you can get even more efficient and build out studs and windows and whatnot off-site as well.
Right. Yeah, there are developers using these for houses right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of builders are doing this, and in my conversation with them, right, like, I think everyone probably thinks it's, like, very cheap to do, but I don't think that's necessarily the appeal, at least to the developer or builder. It's more or less the availability of material, right? Like,
it's a design choice.
Right. Well, obviously, that's attractive.
You can get extremely efficient by just going, corner to corner, top to bottom. But that's not what everyone's looking for when they build with a container. They want to see cantilever movement, pieces. They want to open them up, and they want to.
Right.
So it ends up costing the same or a little bit more on the construction cost, especially because local trades don't understand how to bid it. In industry, I add money to.
Yeah.
So do you have your own tradespeople, or do you?
No, on this one, literally, I wanted to be able to qualify bidders. So the year before I started, I bought one container myself. I got a plasma cutter, and I figured out how much time it took to linearly cut 20 feet.
You literally did the work? Like, you went through the whole process?
Yeah.
Wow.
I built the wall inside it, framed a door to understand when I can qualify bids.
Wow.
That's interesting.
It's
So-
actually, when you go outside, it's the stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
So-
it's funny, right?
That you
Everyone's
be the
used,
stage. That's awesome. That's awesome.
everyone's used to building stick-built homes, stick-built buildings, right? Whether it's commercial, residential. To introduce that, right? Like you have to break a barrier. You're like a pioneer, right? And with that being said, like the way that they're going to be built in the future is dependent on these type of builds, which is pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
How
They'll-
hard
they'll be
is
studying
so
this.
for me, it's like how hard is the wiring, the plumbing, and all that stuff to go against it?
It's when you go container to container, you gotta cut a hole through a little thicker steel than you do normally would.
Right.
But you're still framing. When you walk the art gallery, you'll see it's drywall on the inside. You still have to adhere to Michigan Build Code, and you still have to insulate and build out walls. So you choose in a container: do I do it on the outside substrate, or do I do it on the inside? So
Oh,
the inside,
got it.
You want to accentuate,
That's what I was going to ask. How do you insulate? Because I know it's cold as balls here right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
is it a 2x4 subwall built around each one?
Yeah.
What-
All exterior walls.
What'd you do before this?
Yeah. How did you get into this?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like what?
Like what?
I mean, obviously it's a great
Smoked a lot
idea,
of
right?
pot.
Yeah.
So, starting in college, we started a college painting company, which kind of got me into home finishes, right? And so I went into doing trim work and finishes and that. Partnered up with another guy, and we started going into a corporate restaurant, facility build-outs and remodeling. P.F. Chang's, Red Lobster, Tim Hortons, things like that. So whenever they did that 10-year facelift, we go in and do that kind of work.
Nice. Okay.
You're redundant, and you're just repeating that same piece over and over.
Very task-oriented, right?
Yeah.
For years, 20 years, I just think about legacy, what are you leaving behind for your kids, and money is something, but building something in real estate that has longevity, that has something that's really a physical place, right? And you drive out downtown, you have the Griswold building, these titles, right? Honestly, I wanted to build something for my grandmother real bad. I wanted my Irene to exist.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This isn't the Irene.
Yeah.
No, not
It'll
at all.
happen at some point. But that kind of led me into, the old clicking and pointing of trying to figure out what I can develop, trying to find a building, try to do something, try to change what I'm doing, and eventually through whatever.
Well,
10
what's
years
awesome
on.
about this, right, is it's different, right? Number one, it's like I said, you're pioneering to a degree, like a new type of build, at least in this city, right? But the advantages that containers have over normal builds, right? Just like the longevity and the durability of the structure, right? Like this will be here in 200 years, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Which
the
is
crazy.
to
People
think
don't realize
about,
it. They
right?
don't go
Even
anywhere.
If you sold this tomorrow and, God forbid, pass away the next day, this is going to be here. You built it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and because the engineers weren't sure how to define their package, this will be here 400 years from now.
Right. That's what I'm saying, right?
It's over-engineered, right? Yeah.
How do you connect the containers? Are they welded together? Are they just sat on top of each other? How are they connected?
Bubble gum.
Bubble gum?
Yeah.
He just chews a
In
lot
a-
of gum
in a-
and
in
just
a-
sticks it all together,
Bubble
dude.
gum in a dish?
Yeah.
In a dish. There's a little thing called a honeycomb.
No,
That's corner to corner on the containers.
Okay.
And you also weld points together.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think what you said was interesting is that, like, look, you were all right. You didn't have to do this, really. From what I understand, right? You're like, I wanted something to, like, say I did that. Like, that was my like that's so you've gone beyond just like doing this for profit almost. You kind of did this out of a passion of some sort, which is very different.
The place in general, the operations kind of lives up to that title. We curated our restaurants. Not just are these the people who can pay the rent the best.
Right.
We wanted to
Which is
really
normal,
get
by the way.
Yeah.
Right. That,
core
yeah.
mix of our society. Berkeley, Ann Arbor, Dexter, Detroit, Windsor, which is actually our society, right?
Yeah,
and,
it
and
is.
we wanted to mix
That's
these
interesting.
different spheres of influence and areas together that everyone can come together.
That's awesome.
And
really
our
is
original
awesome.
6 mix was 3 women, 3 men. We lost 2 of the girls before we opened up, just for whatever reason they couldn't end up getting there. Then we're still trying to find, our oldest operators, late 60s, our youngest operators, young 30s, and again, mixing different spheres of influence, right? And being Asian or Nepalese or Canadian or Greek or African American or Indian.
I like Greek.
I don't know
I'm
anywhere
good- I'm
else
good-
that you can get Nepalese dumplings, right?
Well,
Like
And
legit,
they're fire.
like legit.
They're good.
I don't know
So
where
by
you
the
get
way,
Nepalese
Sal had these
dumplings, but they were
Nepalese
great.
dumplings. We
got here early.
Yeah.
My shirt shows that I liked them.
Salvatore had grease just dripping out of his mouth onto his shirt all over the place.
It's status quo for me. So
They're good.
So when we got Llama, they're the biggest flyers for us because they're the only people that don't have an operation beyond here. So we didn't really know if they could.
This is all they had, right? You're like,
We just
they can expand.
It's a husband and wife couple. We just love
Man,
them.
right. Yeah.
But he actually was the only one rolling. They hand roll the dumplings daily.
Yeah.
And he got to the point where he was efficient to roll 1,200 dumplings a day.
That's
But
shit.
the first
Wild, dude.
He had to close down to train someone else because he couldn't get enough dumplings done.
Wow.
They're handmade, every single one. That's
I
wild.
do about 20 a day for him. I help him out.
Really?
Not rolling, eating.
I want to do it, and that just you think it's so funny. Like everyone always thinks like something's so easy, right? Like, yeah, I'm just gonna open a little dumpling shop. The sweat and the work that goes into that, but the ability to do it it's a great opportunity for a restaurant, right? Like how you open up, it's almost like a food court at a mall, except people are coming here to eat good food, not necessarily like go shop at Nordstrom.
That's
right?
Yeah.
So it's great.
Our conversation with all the operators was don't come here to make $1 million. Come here for exposure, right?
Right.
You're one of
Put yourself on the map.
Yeah, you're one of
I like
operators.
the on it like that. That's what it is, right?
Yeah. And please, in 3 years, go into a bigger location. Create a name for yourself. And so, Petro Dikopoulos here from Brujo, he owned Republica in Berkeley, still owns it. Launched this. He actually, when he first came from Chicago, opened up Texas State Brazil.
Okay.
And then wanted to open his own restaurant up, opened up Republica in Berkeley. From there, wanted to come back to the city and really make a name for himself. So launched this location. Now he's head chef and does all the cuisine for Athenaeum Hotel and I believe Pegasus Hotel. So
the Pappases. What's up, Pappases?
Right.
How you doing, kids?
Yeah, Jim in here.
Yeah.
Before. And then Max Hardy next door, born and raised Detroit, moved to Miami to do culinary arts. Ended up becoming a culinary chef and a private chef for NBA players. Wrote a book with Amari Stoudemire, Cooking with Amari. Moved to New York, kind of followed him there. Got into a big chef circuit. Wanted to come back to Detroit and teach culinary arts in the city where he grew up. So his whole
That's awesome.
Did this originate from you just being like all about food in some way and fashion? And
No.
Because Sal could appreciate that.
What?
Because Sal could appreciate that.
Sal loves food.
loves
Sal
I like
absolutely
food
loves
as
food.
well. It's kind of got like 4 or 5 thoughts that kind of slammed together at the same time in the right point in my life. I was also doing custom home remodels for people, tearing roofs off, adding a
You're doing everything, right? Yeah, you're doing a little piece of everything.
Because of that, I'm probably on the same website you guys are and getting all these different build design ideas.
Yeah.
And I kept getting on my social media single container retail build outs, so just charming as it gets, right? You fold open a little coffee shop.
Right.
I want to do that somewhere. At the same time, my wife and I were starting to age out of Royal Oak in Birmingham. Like, we got babysitter. I don't have 3 hours to wait at a bar behind 6 people.
How old are your kids, by the way?
Well, there's one who works here.
Oh,
We
okay.
got younger. We got 10, 9, and 7. So
I've seen plans for resorts made completely out of shipping containers down in the Virgin Islands, right?
Yeah.
Like all-inclusive resorts in each, like restaurant, right? They got a coffee, they got this, they got a taco stand. And it's great, especially down in a place, because again, these are very like weather resistant,
Yep.
right? Like they're built differently. The wood does not warp because there's no wood.
Yep.
Maybe in between, right? But like it's a very different idea that no one even has had the luxury of because building just hasn't been done on that, right?
Right.
Like you're repurposing stuff. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're doing another building.
Yeah.
That's
a
awesome.
3-story building out of containers.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was going to be another opportunity to continue campus like that, and so go from 2023 to make it 93, to do
Right.
60 next door. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take what I learned here and the efficiencies and improve on it.
That's
I gotta
awesome,
imagine
man.
you couldn't have fell into a better demographic or geographical spot than Detroit.
And timing, right?
And
timing,
Detroit,
yeah.
where it is right now, I mean, this is kind of like perfect spot for something like this. With Detroit being on a rebuild, up and coming, a lot of people say hipster-ish, right? This is kind of like the spot to have something like this. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think location-wise, like I said, originally we were going to go to Corktown, and then that land deal kind of went sour and kind of scrambled a bit. There was kind of a funny moment where
Well, Corktown's like Birmingham of like Detroit now, almost. Like
Still Detroit though.
Yeah.
but it's like it's crazy. Like I go to Corktown, it's unrecognizable.
Yeah, I liked Corktown 3 years ago. Because
Yeah.
I knew the PAL development was coming, the coroner was coming.
Yeah.
You know, a couple other pieces were coming, and we liked that there was already established food and walkability. People still go to the same bars when Tiger Stadium was there.
Yeah.
And so there was already established.
Yeah.
events.
Yeah.
Coming here was a bit of a flyer, but we knew we're south of Midtown and Wayne State, and the way the city's developing, it's block by block. They're doing and they're on Selden right now, so we're 2 blocks south of that. And then, downtown was moving north, and when Illich's popped over the freeway, and put in
It changed. Yeah. It changed it.
It gave us an opportunity. And next door, the Peterborough opened up. Right, Matt Hessler did that whole building over there. And he's got iconic tattoos.
You got this, you got what? Grey Ghost, you got all these like
turned the
places
light on.
popping up right around here.
Right.
That's what it is. It pops on. It's like, okay, now we have a chance. Right.
Turn the light
So
Yeah.
if you got an hour and a half line at Grey Ghost, why don't you pop over and get some dumplings?
Can we keep that
Right?
fucking door
Right.
closed? Man.
Come over here, get a drink, get some dumplings, check it out.
This is really
and then
good, man.
Explore the rest of the city.
So I know you're working on another project, right? Right down the street.
Yeah, so kind of announced way earlier than we wanted to, but that's just kind of the political scene with buying land from the city.
Yeah.
And so we've been working on the Alamo Draft House, which will be the first run movie theater in the city, maybe 20 years.
Which is
And
wild. Think about that. Wait,
true,
can we think about that? That's the first real movie theater in how many years?
Yeah, at least 20 years.
Yeah.
And if you count Renaissance, which had 3 screens,
Yeah.
and the Renaissance building is kind of a goofy building, standalone place.
It's not really a place people go,
No,
right?
no,
Yeah.
It's a
not-
microcosm in
yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah.
You know?
And so piggybacking on the narrative of this place, it's what's needed in the area, right? And trust me, doing the movie theater deal has not been. It's been 2 years of negotiating.
Why? What's so difficult about it?
Parking. We have a shortfall of actual houses and doors that are down here. Most of it's transient people.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And most of the population.
So
of the
it's
city
all
of Detroit-
infrastructure stuff.
and most of the population is on the beer belly of the city, right? It kind of wraps the outskirts of the city. So you have downtown the core areas.
Yeah.
Then you have a kind of vacant middle point, and then where everyone lives is in the core outskirts.
Yeah.
Will there be
It's,
a
it's
bar
like
there?
a white trash beard.
What? I mean,
It's like a white trash beard. You get the middle part, and you don't have anything, and then you have like.
That's
it's
really
like how I
weird
grew
that
up.
you
Will
say
there be a
that. All
bar?
right.
What?
Will there be a bar?
So look up Alamo Draft House. It's a very well curated thing. Full food service during the movie. So what happens? You'll sit. You'll have a counter in front of you. A little piece of paper. You'll write popcorn, sandwich,
Come on.
beer. Slide a ticket.
Man, that
and
sounds-
popcorn.
Come on. That's
Walk by.
awesome.
So I experienced this. We got popcorn and a beer, and it comes in your mom's metal cooking tin.
Oh, that
Seasoned.
sounds good.
Come on. I want that right now.
A new one pops up. They
Wow.
haven't solved space toilets yet. You get that done, golden.
Don't eat
You're
it.
not moving the whole time.
No,
That's
Don't
it. Yeah.
eat it. Crush it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
No,
Well,
they're an amazing group, and really a boutique theater group that matches Detroit to what you're saying in Midtown particular.
Right.
that's awesome. Well, John,
That's
thank you for being on the show and talking to us a little bit about what you're doing, man. It's really exciting.
All right, thank you for having
That's
me. guys.
awesome, dude. That's
Absolutely.
awesome. Good luck with everything. Dude, that's an interesting story.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, I mean, he had, everyone has every opportunity to do things the same way, essentially. Not everyone, but, a builder, a developer.
Yeah.
Let's put a strip mall here. Let's do this. Let's
Yeah,
do
yeah.
No, let's do a shipping container.
I mean,
right?
Yeah, no, it took
high risk.
how much
dude,
weed?
it took balls to
how
kinda,
much weed do you have
Yeah.
to smoke to think like
I
I'm
mean,
gonna take one of these?
a lot of
shipping
pot was
containers?
involved. So I mean,
Jesus.
just think about it, because just so the audience understands out there, everybody out there, this is not. It's a seedier part of Detroit. He decided to build a shipping container like complex with. I mean, there's a volleyball court in the back. There's a food
Sand
court.
volleyball.
There's
Beach volleyball.
sand
Badass,
volleyball,
yeah.
right? It's a
Badass.
very like different thing, and he had to like really think outside
Dude,
of the
and
box.
The food is good.
Yeah,
food
yeah.
is-
Like
the food
they,
is
they
good.
It
opened
sounds-
up and put a McDonald's and a Tim Hortons in here. This
Yeah.
is real legit.
It
authentic.
sounds
Yeah.
like he like took the time to be like, yeah, you're worthy to be part of this, instead of
Yes.
being like, who will take the spot, right?
Yeah.
Right. No, he
He
he's
thought
like,
about
yeah,
it.
It was a couple.
Yeah.
He thought they could do it. Like
Right.
he vets them out.
Yeah.
Right? He's not looking for rent. He's looking for people.
Totally
who are gonna
agree with you.
succeed.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
But
How
it
weird
wasn't
is it?
just- it
How
wasn't-
weird? Can we talk about how weird this shit
Very,
is that we're
very,
doing?
very weird.
So-
I'm fucked up about it.
Yeah. So we're not. So the audience understands that anybody that hears this is we're very used to like being in studio with our headsets,
Quiet.
looking at each other. We're in a very foreign environment right now.
Getting blasted.
Talking
with cold
very loud.
Arctic
It's
air.
cold.
God, that
we've been
fucking door is
drinking a
cold.
little bit, and it is not a comfortable
Very
situation.
different. However, it's all right.
No, it's really cool. No, it's really cool. Matt, is it O'Laughlin? O'Laughlin. Matt, what's up? So Tara, who's running this whole thing, just keeps dropping people by.
Talk right into the front
She's
of
like, you need to talk to this guy. I'm like, all right, what's his name? Oh, like, all right. So you're with Alexander Real Estate?
I'm a partner there. We've got 15 agents. I've got 220 condos currently listed.
Well, you guys are in Royal Oak, right down the street from us.
That's our second location.
Okay.
I guess that's the first. Detroit would be the second.
All right.
But we're crushing the Detroit market, sales volume-wise, and
So what makes you guys different? Like, what is it? You know?
so most realtors are going after one house, one condo, right?
Yeah.
You're going after fucking buildings.
Yeah, I fucking love it.
So
All right.
we have a groundbreaking on Friday with the mayor's office. We've got 120 condos in Midtown that we're groundbreaking.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty massive.
So you're doing like developments.
What's the base
Yeah.
list price on those?
Those will start at $250 and go all the way up to $650.
Yeah.
There's been $7 million transactions in the city of Detroit this year. I've done 6 of them.
Shut
Nice.
up. No way. So oh, that's awesome. So just so the audience understands, because we get listeners all over the place, man, right? It's like Detroit is changed so much over even a fucking 2-year period, right? So if you really think about what's happened in Detroit over the last 5-10 years, it's unrecognizable. And to be talking about $1 million transactions in Detroit for real estate, residential at least, that wasn't happening.
To talk about a $600,000 condo in Detroit in the last 10 years, set aside the last 2 years, it's unreal.
I've been down here for 10 years, and those $600,000 condos today, you could have bought 10 years ago for 30, 40
That's what
grand.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
We should
It's
have
crazy.
That's the wild part.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
hindsight's 2020, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But so how'd you get started? Like, what's your?
Yeah, well, how did you get to where you're at?
I lived in Eastern Market. So after school, I moved to Eastern Market 2005 actually, right before the Super Bowl. There was nothing going on in the city of Detroit. People thought it was nuts. I was managing bars and restaurants. And then there's a brokerage in Eastern Market. It was like, I've got time during the day. Why don't I go try and sell real estate? So
Why not?
there was some stuff selling, but then 2008 happened. And Detroit got the hardest hit by that.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I guess I'll just rent real estate.
Well,
for a couple years.
Detroit got smashed by that. Yeah, smashed.
Kevin Orr, the emergency financial manager that the state actually put in place, I did his lease for his condo.
That's awesome.
Really
Nice.
That's pretty wild, dude. So okay, you're really pushing the envelope in Detroit, right? You really are like you're
I
right.
across 8 Mile.
Okay.
And I do everything downtown.
So you're pushing the envelope in Detroit. How do you feel about the future? Because look, everybody's talking recession, problems, blah 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 blah. Detroit is actually pretty well insulated with its market, I think. But like, what
It's
do
its
you?
own little micro bubble.
It is, but because, and I don't think we like expanded as hard. Like if the Bay Area's fucked, right? The Bay Area is gonna get like.
Well, Detroit's doing great, right?
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere. You got to start Central Business District, which is going to go to Midtown,
Right.
Corktown, East Riverfront. But Detroit as a whole, you've got 136 square miles. You can fit Boston, Manhattan.
it's
San
People don't
Francisco.
get how big it is. Yeah, it's huge.
massive.
Yeah.
You gotta Shrink the city somehow.
Yeah.
So we have a land problem. It's too much of it.
A lot of
So
land.
you're going to see it expand out from downtown, which we're already seeing. This is a prime example, our location today. But that's still a problem, right? But at least you've got population gaining instead of exiting the city.
Well, a lot of people say that the issue in Detroit is like, oh, we're focused on the downtown. The suburbs aren't getting it. The suburbs aren't getting it. Look, I personally think there's no bad that's coming from developing the downtown because it will spread to the suburbs over time, and it is,
You
and
need
you're
that-
seeing it.
You need that development. As prices increase downtown, it starts to trickle out into other neighborhoods.
Well, and you need sustainable development, right?
Right.
Like they're talking years ago, right? It was like, let's turn Detroit into a farm.
Right.
That's great for like 2 years,
We need-
and then
we
it's
need
like, no, we need like
affordable
people living
housing
here.
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, people living here, things that make sense, businesses like this, right?
We're seeing more goods in certain, like it's been restaurant after bar opening down here, which is great. It drives suburban traffic, but now you're starting to see the services open. New salons,
Right.
new dry cleaners, new grocery stores, new mom and pop retail, and that's great. That's what we need for a sustainable city.
Are you scared at all about the the rate at which Detroit is expanding outwards, or do you think it's healthy?
Because we got enough room to grow. So we've got 50 years of decline. I don't think there's no way that you can expand.
There's no bar.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no bar for expansion because essentially, like the city that it was built up when there was so that's like something you can always do too in a city.
I mean, it's a massive city, and most of the focus was always downtown. Even when the crumble happened, it was still downtown. That like what 1 or 2 mile square radius.
There's a lot of expansion in like fringe areas like Midtown. And not that I want to say it's a fringe area, right? But like
but
Midtown,
it is.
Midtown's. Well, it's just like. It's like a Lincoln Park in Chicago.
Yeah,
right.
It's got hotels. There's going to be 2 new hotels popping up there. We have a groundbreaking, like I said, on Friday with 125 new units and a 300 apartment tower. And that's being designed by Lipscomb Studios, the architect that did the master plan for the new One World Trade building. So there's some big stuff coming into Midtown. The problem is trades, right? So Detroit lost all their trades, which is going to give you a higher construction cost. And how do you mitigate that in the sales price, right?
Yep.
So you got to pass that to the end buyer. So that's a problem that Detroit has to figure out.
It's wild.
Have you on your end, all right, so you said, what, a 200-unit development?
Yeah.
Have you seen a shortage of people wanting to buy?
Well, right now,
Are they sitting?
The demand, some of the stuff that's sitting out there a lot longer is how the Detroit buyers coming in the market, and they're looking for the tax abatement, which is the NEZ tax abatement.
The NEZ, yeah.
A lot of this stuff is...
Which the millages are 17 mil.
Insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'll give you an example. I sold a condo in Corktown. NEZ taxes, $2,000. Purchase price was $629. The buyer got assessed with a $29,000 tax bill.
Right. Well,
So
the millages are 70 mils in
Yeah,
Detroit.
so after that, it totally ups you, right? So
I closed on a, not me personally, right, but one of my clients bought a new house yesterday, 260 downtown Detroit.
yeah.
And, the hard part about the NEZ is you can't apply for it until after you own it, right? So for us as a lender trying to calculate the taxes, right?
It's impossible.
It's not impossible.
It's very difficult to figure out.
The telecom's like, what do we do? And they call
They have no idea.
Well, You look up the actual Detroit millages, and they're insane, right? So
Yeah, if you go with millage rates, it doesn't work.
right, but just like for example in Hazel Park, right? Like new builds, the taxes are crazy, but I'm watching the millages drop as the city expands, right? And as there's more tax base to
And the
collect.
city recognizes it as a problem, but ultimately we're a city that runs off a 25% property tax basis, where most major cities are at 60%. So it's like, how do they fix it, right? It's another Detroit deal that's going to take a couple years to figure out, but...
Well, incentives aren't a bad thing, right?
Right.
If you're going to collect 25% off of a small pie, right? I mean, you got to look at like piece of the pie scenario, right?
For
So
sure.
it can be a big pie.
For sure.
But the incentive has to be there to eat it.
So what is Alexander Real Estate doing going forward? What's the future hold?
We're brand new to the Detroit market. I've been down here for a long time. Left my previous brokerage. We've got 15 of the top producing agents in Detroit.
That's crazy.
that
That's
have
pretty
come
wild.
over.
Think about that.
And a lot of developers are coming to us, figuring out how do they sell their product for X when it costs Y to build. So we're the masters at that. We're going to continue that growth as the city continues to grow.
It's awesome, man. Well, thanks for hanging out, man. Thank you, dude. Thank you. It was awesome.
Absolutely.
Love your Rolex.
The YM2.
Jesus
two-tone,
Christ,
love
we're
it.
talking Rolexes now. Okay, we've totally jumped the shark. So just so everybody knows, just so everybody knows, again, this is very odd. I had to pee really bad in the middle of that.
No, I get it.
Yeah, I had to go. So and then now I got back and Brad got up. So like it's been a very odd show. This is pretty good. Sal, you gotta admit, Real Producers does a really good job, man.
No, they do. I mean, it's a different event
It's
for our podcast.
dude.
We got to do what?
Wait, Tara, come here. Tara, get on the mic. Come here. So this is Tara's event. We had her on last week. If you haven't heard the podcast last week, just go back because it lives forever. This is pretty cool.
It is.
Really great turnout. I mean, how many? Probably 150 in this room.
Yeah, there's a lot of top agents in this room. So if you're in your local market across the country and you guys listen to this show and there's a Real Producers magazine in your area, think about the value that they provide, because like we've been very fortunate to be partnered up with them. They've done a great job being a partner. Like Omega Lending, our mortgage company, partnered up with them, and they've been amazing partners of ours. It isn't. it's a great partnership, and they've done a really good job. What's up, girl? How you doing? All right.
Passing out drink tickets?
Yeah.
All right. Get the drinks going.
So Tara, what do you got? Somebody else you're bringing up here? Let me know. If not, we'll just
We
talk.
have the Goodmans coming.
The
They're
Goodmans.
Sarah and John Goodman.
Yeah.
They're just over there. I'm going to direct them over here.
Yeah,
right
go
now.
go have some fun.
And then Teresa Antonelli's going to get on in just a second.
All right. Welcome back, Brad. Brad was
Hello.
peeing.
Yes, I was.
All right. Got
Two
it.
of them. We have one mic.
Yeah. All right. Dude, I can't tell you how uncomfortable I am.
It's unreal.
Like, I can't hear myself.
But I mean, the last two guests we had, the stories were crazy. The story of Detroit is crazy.
Detroit is like, I love like, you don't understand. Okay, so I was a kid growing up in Detroit, and we'd come down here to go to parties, and Detroit was gritty, it was dirty. You didn't go out at night. Like, I mean, there weren't
It still gets that rap.
but
everywhere.
nobody was walking around. But now, dude, there's like families with strollers,
Right.
with houses that are building roots here, that have decided to live here. Detroit is not Detroit of 10 years ago. It's not
No.
even Detroit of 5 years ago. You know what I mean? We don't have two mics. I don't know how that's going to work. So, but Detroit is not the same thing as it was. So, we're having so many technical difficulties.
Yeah,
It's so
we
funny.
got to guess. Our next guest is two people.
We have two people. We have
one
one
mic.
I had
Two guests, one mic. Is
oh
that
my god, dude! I was gonna say the same
I
thing.
mean,
but I
two
didn't
guests,
say it.
one mic. It's a new thing.
Sorry, guys. We weren't expecting two guests, but you guys look fantastic, both of you.
Number one in Wayne County.
Numero uno.
Number one in
He
Wayne
looks
County.
numero uno. Look at this guy. He
He's on
looks
our next
amazing.
cover. He's on our next
He should be on every cover. Just so you know. Just so you know. He should be on every. How are you guys? Good. So you guys are. So we're talking a lot about Detroit today, and like the renaissance of Detroit and what we were seeing in the city, and it has been like first of all, the ones that are like, oh, Detroit's cool now. Like, you're out. Like all of a sudden now it's cool. Like, now you like us. But you guys have probably been here for a while, like working the city for some time, and like you built roots here before it was like the chic thing to do, right? You can't become like. So walk me through the mentality of someone that was like believing in Detroit before anybody was believing in Detroit. I mean, what is that like?
We used to come to all the sports events and stuff, and
Yeah.
you know, through that we started doing the fruit festivals. Actually, when they were little, we did all that stuff. And
Yeah.
over the years, have done more and more stuff down here. But it's amazing how it's growing.
It's wild. So at what point were you like, let's focus some energy on Detroit, like we believe in it? You know what I mean? When does that happen?
You know, we're still kind of outside Detroit. I have clients that are far down here and stuff, but I don't actually do
It's Wayne County, really, where you're at. Yeah. What part of Wayne County? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's the funny thing. People don't always think Wayne County is Detroit, but like Northville, right?
Wayne County is
for instance,
huge.
right? So I live like Novi Northville border, right, 9 Mile and Taft, and it's like that's a really, really nice area for. I mean, the schools are amazing. There's a lot of affluent people that live there. It's a really nice area. So, as far as that area where you guys are primarily located at, what are you seeing as far as growth? Because I mean, it just keeps growing. It seems like it's weird.
When I started out in the 90s,
It was
Novi
it's.
was like 15,000, 20,000.
It was the sticks. It was like farmland, and nobody was going out there. And you got kind of like how Wixom and farther west is going. But now Northville has become this like really like affluent area. How does that happen? You know what I mean? How does that happen from like being the sticks?
Just people continue to come there. And the cool thing now is both downtowns are kind of like mini Detroits. Where downtown,
Yeah.
with the downtown Northville, the younger people at my age want to come there because they want to walk everywhere.
They're looking for urban lifestyle without actually being urban. Yeah. They
Yeah,
want to be downtown Detroit without being downtown
the
Detroit.
moms and the G wagons need somewhere
exactly.
to go.
The swagger
Sorry.
wagons.
That's
the
how I
swagger
feel.
wagons.
Talk to my wife. She, like they want to like have a stroller and go have like singing in the park with their kids. I mean, that's what Northville is. Northville's
100%.
very, 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 very family oriented.
So how'd you two get together in real estate? I mean, same last names, right?
Yeah, I've been by myself for 26 years, and my son and daughter just joined me in the last
So you're passing the torch.
I'm not passing the torch.
Well, not yet.
Hold on.
Not yet.
Whoa,
Not
Sal, stop saying pass the
yet.
torch. This guy's not ready to let it go yet.
Are you,
like
are you
it.
calling
John
him
is like, screw you, it's my torch.
It's a family business.
So he built something amazing.
I think Sal just called you old.
Right.
And now we get to help carry that to the next level.
You're right.
For the last 26 years, I've been #1 in the state of Michigan.
That's huge. That's not a small feat.
John, you were on HGTV, right? Oh, you were. How was that? Was that an interesting situation?
It was very interesting. So we filmed for 2.5 days in July.
How did they pick you? Or like, how did that happen?
25th.
October 25th, by the way, it aired. But how did?
Partner with Cold but they wanted a certain demographic, and they called me and asked if I'd be interested, and then they had one of my clients too.
I heard that's a whole process. They have,
We had
yeah.
all these Skype interviews, and
What's-
and then they chose us.
Has it aired yet? Did I miss that?
It did. It aired. It's called What You Get for Your Money. So it's a new TV show, first season on HGTV. It was episode 4, Beachside Bonanza.
That's awesome.
Beachside Bonanza.
Airs 2 cities.
That's awesome.
Fires the same budget, 2 cities.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
Like House Hunters, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a little launch party at the house.
John, can I ask you, how did you build your business? Because there's a lot of agents that listen to the show, right? And becoming proficient at your craft is something that I think everybody has potential to do, but nobody does because it's hard, right? What was it that got you to a position where you felt like got you to where you are today? I mean,
It was just, it was
talking to my,
it was #1. It was helping out clients, and then the money comes later. But it was just
money follows. It's good, yeah.
Just taking care of people, making sure everything was always done right for them, always having integrity.
Yeah.
Getting your name out. And I paid the payments, one after expired, one after visibility, and did everything they told me to do.
You
The
knocked
blocking and
door
tackling
knocking.
is something that people cannot soon forget, right? I mean, the biggest thing I think that you see people shoot up, right, do a lot of business, and then they don't know how to maintain that, and it comes down to what you've learned from the very start.
The very basic.
Yeah, Sal's,
The thing you
yeah.
have to do is once it does slow down, you got to go back to the basics.
Right.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
It's not really back to the basics. It's refocusing because you should always be doing the basics, right?
You always have to do the
achieve that
basics.
success. You're always doing the basics, but it's
We
it's a
all
refocus.
get sometimes like fixed on like this next shiny object, and when it comes down to it, our blocking and tackling, like you said, is really what got us to where we're at, right?
And
So a
it-
lot of times we forget that we want to like do all.
It's not even the blocking and tackling. It's studying plays every day or prospecting, right? Like you have to constantly prospect in this business, and if you do become too busy with what you get, then you know you have to expand, right? You got to
Right.
hire an admin, or you got to do something like that. But you can't just hire an admin and expect to fill that spot, right? Or fill that spot with business.
And that's what's nice having them now too is you can pass people off to them just so we're all staying.
Free assistance.
Free
So you're not
assistance.
burning yourself totally out.
Yeah, yeah.
Take more
Not
trips.
that-
Does it get competitive around the Thanksgiving dinner table about who's got
Are you comparing numbers? Are you
who's got more listings, who's got more deals, who closed more?
Yeah.
we both want each other to succeed, but we sure like to beat each
I
other.
Yeah.
love it. I
What's,
love it.
what's amazing, right? Like,
That's
and, you see this all the time, right? Where someone has, because I mean, when you were a little kid, Dad was selling real estate, right? And
I
you
was the
had,
one that would beg to go on listing appointments when I
Really?
was 7 and 8.
That's
You take your daughter to work, she'd go and
Which
they used
is-
to stamp the mailers and stuff.
you were like in it,
which
right?
is awesome.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, you know, Dad's out doing that, and you know, things are going great. Like, but you're like, well, I could do this. I could be a doctor. I could go do whatever you want to do, right? But like, at what point in your life did you decide I'm going to do this? Was it when you were young, or was it when?
I got licensed right at 18, so I spent most summers.
So you were ready.
with him.
Yeah, you were.
Otherwise, I had a whole career in derivatives trading in Chicago and marketing for 10 years.
Hold on.
Derivatives trading.
You
went into
can't just throw that
derivatives
out
trading.
there.
Does any? Okay,
just
so
dropped
what
that
were
like
you
it was
doing?
no big
Yeah,
deal.
like, you know, I was doing derivatives
Derivatives
trading.
trading?
It's futures and options.
Yeah.
Kinda
Yeah,
like the stock
we get it. No, we know it. But like, why? Okay, so that's a really good point,
So
right?
you're
So a
pretty
lot.
good at pricing homes. Okay, I get
Yeah,
it.
she's good. She's good.
I love it.
That's awesome. So
This
why?
is such a wild gap to me, though, to go from
It
that.
isn't a
to-
wild gap.
It is to me, though.
in marketing, so the industries are different. Some things are similar, but I took a lot of those skills I developed for 10 years in marketing and now apply them to help rebrand.
No, I see
But
that.
at a
No,
young
I
age-
see how
John,
they can be
John,
applied.
you did good.
Yeah.
You did
Yeah.
good. You did
At
real
a
good.
very
Yeah.
young age, you took interest in this.
College was a waste of money, but other than that, you did real good. There you go. There.
But you took interest at a very young age in this, which is pretty cool, you know.
That's why I got licensed at 18, and I came in and out of it. 5 years ago, I was maxed out with him, got my license in Illinois, sold in Chicago, and then went back to marketing. And
That's
finally,
cool.
2 years ago, made the choice. This is it. I want to really do this. And
That's what it takes. So it does take a commitment because you can't do this part time.
family business too.
Yeah.
So you're making another commitment versus
Well,
just
I think
You can't let your
going
family
into
down
real
there, right?
estate up front, right, is always a sacrifice, right? It's something
Yes.
that you realize that, like, this is a sacrifice. It's an investment in yourself, right? Like, you don't get paid a salary, right?
Nope.
So you have to sacrifice whatever other opportunity, whether it's derivatives trading or trading in Chicago or whatever. I mean, I know a lot of people who are like, yeah, I went to medical school. They're crushing it in real estate, right? And it's like, well, hey, don't look at it as a waste, right? Everything's a
I
step
think it's
in
a
life.
waste. I think it's an absolute waste.
I was an engineer and I used to build hospitals, and you always had to beg for raises. In this business, you can get every raise every
Right.
I think college is a waste of time, personally.
It is to a degree. I think there should be a
No,
new.
it is literally to a degree.
Yes. I think there should be a new family competition that every year at Thanksgiving between you and your brother, whoever fell short of selling the most should have to go on their next showing dressed as a turkey for Thanksgiving. Between you and your brother every year.
Oh my
Every year.
god.
Oh, it'd be so good.
Oh my
I'd
god.
go on Facebook Live. It'd be great. It'd be great promotion.
Well, guys,
But it'd be
tell
hilarious
the
as well.
audience how they can get a hold of you, real quick. There you go.
You can find us at Instagram and Facebook at John Goodman Real Estate, or visit us at johngoodmanrealestate.com.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Let's have you on the actual show when it's not all crazy.
Yeah.
That'll be great. All right,
We can
guys.
hear you a little better.
Thank you so much, John. Nice meeting you. Very good. Very nice meeting you.
Thank you.
All right. So now we're doing prizes, and we're just.
Are we still live?
This is pretty wild, man. Like, we're just a part of this. So I think we're gonna call the show pretty soon here, boys. What do you think?
I think are we done, Tara?
Yeah. All right.
We're calling.
So we are done recording. Thank you for listening, Tara.
This has been unique.
Thank you, guys.
Yes,
interesting.
thank you. Tara just started talking over us like it didn't matter. like,
All right, we are wrapping up. Thank you guys for tuning
we're
in.
all gonna go fuck yourselves. All right, bye. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you later. All right, bye.